Hello guys, welcome to PST lectures. This is another video in C programming series. From now, I'll take a reference of a textbook of C programming language, which is the famous one. I will give the details of the textbook in the description. If you want to know about it, you can see in the description. Okay, let's start our session with an overview of a C program. That is the structure of C program, how a program in C can be written, right? The documentation section, link section, definition section, global declaration section, main function, and subprogram section. These are the parts we use in the C program. Okay, let us go detail about each part. Right? Documentation section. The documentation section contains a set of comment lines giving the nature of the program, the author, and other details which the programmer would like to use later. Right, in the documentation section we will have the details of the program and the author and other details, and which generally will not use by everyone. It's an optional thing. Right, next, the link session. The link session provides instructions to the compiler to link functions from the system library. Done. Next, definition session. The definition session defines all symbolic constants. Next, there are some variables that are used in more than one function. Such variables are called global variables and are declared in the global declaration section. That is, out of all the functions, this session also declares all the user defined functions. In this, the global declaration section, we will declare the global variables. For suppose you are using a as a variable in main function. In another function, suppose add is a function which you use in add function also. A is used in add function and in main function. Okay, so we have to declare in this main function and this subprogram, that is add function. So instead of declaring a in two times, we can declare it as global variable, which saves the memory. Right, in this global declaration session, we can also define user defined functions. Next, every program must have one main function session. This session contains two parts: declarative part and executable part. Right? From the starting of the from the starting of any programming language. For suppose, let us consider C language. The function starts with only the main function. This is the thing we are listening from various times, right? So in this main function, we have declaration part and executable part. The declarative part declares all the variables used in the declarate executable part. The in executable part, we will execute some function, right? The variables used in the executable part are declared in the declaration part. There is at least one statement in the executable part. These two parts must appear between the opening and closing braces. The program execution begins at the opening brace and ends at the closing brace. The closing brace of the main function session is the logical end of the program. All statements in the declaration and executable parts end with a semicolon. This is a very important thing. Semicolon is widely used in the C programming language. The subprogram session contains all the user defined functions that are called in the main function. User defined functions are generally placed immediately after the main function, although they appear in any order. Here to be noted point is that except main function, remaining any section of C programming structure can be absent if they are not required. Main function is the compulsory thing to execute any program in the C language. We have learned that in C programming, main function is very important function to execute any program. So let us learn something about main function. Okay, main function. The main is a part of every C program. C permits different forms of main statements. Following forms are allowed: main, parentheses. These closed brackets in the programming languages are defined as the parenthesis. Int main, void main, main void, void main void, int main void. Okay, let me just explain clearly about these things. Main, without any parameters passing into it, and no return type. Int main defines the return type of the main function must be an integer. For suppose we'll give return 0, return 1, return 2, like that. The return type of the integer must be the return type of the main function must be an integer. Next, void main, that is we no need to return anything, right? Void means nothing, no need to return anything. Keyword void means that the function does not return any information to the operating system, and int means that the function returns an integer value to the operating system, right? Okay, here in these three cases we doesn't pass any parameters to the main function, right? When int is specified, the last statement in the program must be written 0. For the sake of simply, we use first form in every program. Understood? Next, void main. In the parenthesis, we have void. That is the parameters which we pass in the main contains the void. Int main void. The parameters is void and the return type is int. This is in these forms we can use the main function in the C programming. In the previous videos, that is C programming 2, creating your own header files, I have discussed it about this hash include directive, right? Let us just see the glimpse of this. We know that C programming languages is divided into modules or functions. Some functions are written by users like us, and many others are stored in C library. C library functions are grouped category wise and stored in different files known as header files. If we want to access the function stored in the library, it is necessary to tell the compiler about the files to be accessed. This is achieved by using the preprocessor directive hash include as follows. This is the syntax of hash include. In this way, we'll use. I have say as I said in the previous video, we can access the libraries which are already inbuilt using these header files. Next, we'll see about hash define directive. Hash define is a preprocessor compiler directive and not a statement. Therefore, hash defined lines should not end with a semicolon. Symbolic constants are generally written in uppercase so that they are easily distinguished from lowercase variables names. Hash include instructions are usually placed at the beginning of the beginning before the main function. Symbolic constants are not declared in the declaration session. Preprocessor directives we'll discuss later. Yeah, let me say about this. We will define few variables in the before the main section, that is hash define max 20, like that. Let me show the syntax of this. This is a syntax how we use hash define max 10. That is the variable max contains the value 10, right? This 10 is stored in this, and overall the program we use max is equal to 10, right? This is a syntax of max. Now let us see the process of executing a C program. Learning a programming language doesn't mean learning the syntaxes, learning the libraries, learning functions, modules. If it is object oriented, learning object oriented, oops, concepts, it doesn't mean learning that. We have to learn how the process or how the program execute in certain programming languages internally, right? Let us just see a glance how the compiling and running of a C program goes. Executing a program written in C involves a series of steps. There are four steps mainly: creating the program, compiling the program, linking the program with functions that are needed from C library, and the last one is executing the program. In this figure, we can see that the process of creating, compiling, and executing a C program, although these steps remain the same irrespective of operating system, system commands for implementing the steps and conventions for naming files may differ on different systems. Any operating system, the process remains the same, but the naming conventions or few file namings different will vary from different systems, right? Here, if we see in this flow chart, we can see all the four steps which I have said given in a clear way. Please go through this flow chart for better understanding of a process of compiling and running a C program. Here, first we have to enter the program code. Next, it goes to, I'm just giving a glance, goes to the compile source program. If no errors, it goes to the system layer. If it has errors, again we have to edit the source program, right? Next goes to the system library. Next, link with the system library, that is, we know that a compiler changes source code to the object code, right? Here that happens. Next, after executable object code, execute object code, logic and data, we have to check logic and data errors. If logic error, we have to go again to the program. If there data error, we have to recheck the input data. After no errors, we'll get the correct output. After completing the execution, we have to stop the program, right? Okay. um, this is the end of the session, and the next session I'll come with new topics, new concepts of C language. And please do follow our channel, and we are having more playlists about AWS, C programming, probability, and ATFL, that is automata theory and formal languages. Please go and visit our channel and follow for more videos. Subscribe to our channel BST lecture. Thank you for watching.